Hello, Internet. Hi. Hello. How are you doing today? I just got out of the Hellboy screening. I saw a Thursday night, 7 o'clock show. There were not very many people in the movie theater. So, there are probably several thousand of you that actually care about what I think about this movie. We've done content on the comics. We've done content on anticipation of the film. If you've gone back and looked at my reactions to the trailers and stuff, you would see that I was cautiously optimistic. I had reasons to be optimistic. Okay, so in case you might turn off the video in 30 seconds, I just want to get this out first. You said 9% on Rotten Tomatoes? It's actually 12% now. Okay. That is absolute 100% bullshit. Absolutely. And I just want to take this opportunity to tell you about Rotten Tomatoes really fast, just in case you don't understand what Rotten Tomatoes is or how it works. Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregate website. That means that what they're doing is, if you see the number 9%, they're not saying that that's the average. The people that are writing reviews are not then at the end saying like, you might give this movie a 15%, and then everybody gets the percents, and then they take it and then they average together and give you 9. That's not how it works. They're taking all the different critic reviews, which by the way, when that 9% went up, it was only 33 reviews, 30 something. They're taking those reviews and they're deciding, is it positive? Is it negative? And if it's negative, it gets a green splotchy thing, and if it's positive, it gets a tomato. And so if it's 9%, that means that it's, 91% negative and 9% positive. But if you actually read those reviews, I haven't. I can't read them all. A lot of them start with, see, that's what you get for doing this. You should have let Del Toro do it. If you let Del Toro do it, then it would have been great. That's what you get. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. Like, I don't care. Lots of F-bombs in this review because there's lots of F-bombs in the movie that don't belong there. So there we go. No, it's not great. It's not even good. But it's not 9%. Give me a break. No, this is dogpiling. This is absolute 100% dogpiling. And if you are a Hellboy comic book fan, you should go out and see the movie. And these are the reasons why. The first reason is Mike Mignola is one of the rare folks that is gotten to a level where he can get his properties turned into movies and stuff, and it's all creator owned. And we should support that. That's not something to be ignored. Even if it's a bad movie, you should probably go see it because this is something that doesn't happen very often, and we're lucky to get it. 2, if you're a Hellboy fan, there's stuff in this movie that you're going to appreciate seeing. As a Hellboy fan myself, I got to see, this is spoilers, right? Spoiler thingy? No?
Half spoilers.
Half spoilers?
Like what's in the movie, but not exactly what happens, maybe.
You're going to get Hellboy in Mexico doing lucha libre stuff. That was great. I never thought in 10 million years I would ever see that on camera. David Harbour, I think, is great casting. I think he did, with the exception of some stuff that he had to do because of the script, I thought he delivered a great Hellboy. He has a drawl and a slowness that he adds to the character that I really appreciated. It's something that I heard in my head when I was reading the comic books. And I really appreciated it. He has a sense of not childish pettiness, but like genuine sincerity and care for other people. That opening thing at the Lucha Libre, the Tijuana scene, he's really there just trying to help his friend, his drinking buddy, and that comes across. And so I appreciate David Harbour's performance. There's some really cool monster stuff in this movie. There is some very unique imagery. There's some very disturbing, cool monster design and creative gore effects and kills. Wasn't expecting to like Graugach. I don't know how to say his name. Pig monster guy was actually cooler than I thought he was going to be. He's the only one, by the way, that earns. He's the only one that should have been saying the F word as much as he was. Okay, so now that I've gotten that out of the way, I actually really liked the first half of the movie. The second half was a little bit more difficult to get through. I wasn't cringing with the words that people are using in the reviews. I wasn't cringing. I wasn't hiding, behind my popcorn. It was fine. I think the worst you could say about it is it's a mediocre movie, which get made all the time. And it's certainly not some clunker, stinker thing like people are saying. And maybe I am completely, I don't know, maybe I've lost all base with reality. And I'm a huge Hellboy fan, so anytime I see anything that's Hellboy related, maybe I'm indoctrinated. But there was stuff in this movie that I truly appreciated. And no, as a whole, it didn't work. And before I get into that stuff, I want to say that in addition to all of the really negative reviews that just flooded the internet the day prior, there was also some insider reports that got put out. Obviously, everything is hearsay. You don't know who, whatever. But I choose to believe some of this stuff. From what is being written about, it sounds like this production was a nightmare for specifically Neil Marshall, the director of the film. I really like Neil Marshall. I've been a fan since the beginning. I thought that he was an inspired choice for Hellboy.
Dog Soldiers, Descent.
So I rewatched Dog Soldiers last night after all the bad reviews came out, just to kind of and I'm like, is he like a hack? And I maybe don't know it? No, Dog Soldiers is a ton of fun. It's a really fun movie. It's been a while since I've watched The Descent, but man, that movie floored me. But even beyond that, I mean, he's been working in TV for years. The episodes he's done in Game of Thrones should be proof positive to anybody that he would have delivered a competent, cool, stylish, exciting Hellboy film. I think that he truly got fucked with it every turn. So, again, I don't know. This is just what I choose to believe, but let me tell you a little bit about what's being reported. So, the production company that worked on this is Millennium Pictures, and a few of you have said as much in the comments when I was talking about being hopeful after the trailers earlier, that they do not have a good track record. I just hoped that the pedigree, the cast plus the crew would be enough to push past all that. It wasn't. This movie had 16 producers. And in case you didn't know, that's not normal. And most times when movies have that many producers, they do not end up well. Again, don't take my word as gospel. This is just what I'm hearing. The director of photography that he brought onto the picture was fired by the producers, and they hired their own director of photography. And again, that's a big deal. As a director, probably the second most important person in a movie next to the director, and some would argue maybe even more important than the director, is the director of photography. Your entire movie, the way it looks and feels, is going to be dictated by your guy that knows light and cameras. And I wonder if Neil Marshall had an idea to do something that was trying to do Mike Mignola justice. And I mean, we'll never know, unless somebody does a tell-all book or something. And
most directors work with a DP over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Neil Marshall's DP, but I mean, his movies have always looked good. Even if you go back to Dog Soldiers, which is a super low-budget movie, by the way, there's really cool shots. And that movie, it's well shot. It looks cool. Not to say this movie looks like shit. It doesn't. But it doesn't look like what I was hoping. It didn't have the style that I was hoping for. It had kind of I don't know. It was all right. It looked like Deadpool. A lot of people said Deadpool. There's a lot of day shots, which I was really surprised by. And the night stuff is, kind of underworlded looking, I guess. Anyway, so they fired his DP. They hired a new one. They I was trying to do it in order of like the things that are like biggest sins versus smallest sins, but the way if you read it, it sounds like just he couldn't make a movie. He was being backseat directed. They were talking to the actors behind his back. He did not get any kind of final cut on this movie, which I think he knew before he was going into it. But I we'll never see it probably. But I wonder even with all of this, if the cut that Neil Marshall delivered, because this feels like it was cut within an inch of its life. It was brisk, but not in a good way. It was breathless, not in a good way. It delivered exposition like it was giving out candy, and that's too bad. There's like really weird things. One of the report I was reading was mentioning how Neil Marshall and the producers were getting in big fights just about things like how the tree was supposed to look. The tree. It's not even a big deal in the movie. Like, to get on somebody, like Neil Marshall just wanted it to be asymmetrical, which is actually very vibing with Mike Mignola's stuff. And they're like, no, they want it to be symmetrical. Can you imagine getting in such a fucking thing with somebody where they won't just let you have your asymmetrical tree? A lot of rewrites. You know, it's a movie, that happens. Okay, all right, let's. Yeah, we're talking the movie. It's rated R. There are so many F-bombs in this movie. It's ridiculous. It's very distracting. I knew that was probably going to happen just to come with like the R rating. And some people assumed correctly that was Deadpool's hot, we should do that too, kind of a thing. I don't think that Hellboy has ever said the F word in his entire life in comic books. He's was born in World War II. He's like 70 years old for all intents and purposes. Or wait, 40, 60. Yeah, how many 70-year-olds do you know that drop F-bombs all the time? Actually, maybe you actually know a few. I don't know. It's really violent, but I like horror and stuff. I was into that. I didn't think that it was over the top. Is it over the top for Mike Mignola Hellboy stuff? Yeah, maybe. I mean, his style is so spare that people are like, was Hellboy even gory? I'm like, I don't know how to answer that question because the way that Mignola draws, he doesn't give you a lot of detail, so gore is not really like a part of it. Are people killed in really violent ways? Yes. Is there really dark stuff in the comics? Absolutely. Okay. So I tried to look at this movie as just a supernatural action film, and I think as a supernatural action film, it's fine. If you like that kind of stuff, go see it. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a good enough time at the movies. There's a fight he has that Hellboy has with three giants. I thought it was great. Everybody wants to like say like, oh, the movie's terrible, the movie's good. Like there's nothing in between. Sometimes there's movies that you see that there is stuff in it that's worth seeing, even if the movie is not fabulous.
So special effects. Were they looking good or were they cheap?
I don't think they were as nearly as bad as people made them out to be. Not even close. There was some really cool practical makeup. And the CGI was not nearly as bad as people made out to be. There's a scene where like hell gets a chance to start taking over London and there's all this carnage and chaos. I thought that stuff was rad. I thought the designs were cool. I thought the demon designs were cool. Some of the kills were so over the top, I was laughing. I mean, I guess that depends on who you are. For me, like I see somebody split in twain and I laugh because I think that's the vibe they're going for. It still has that kind of jaunty, it definitely has comedy elements to it. So I had already given up on the movie being any kind of like somber, like more, grounded, real portrayal of the comic books, but I expected at least like, like a violent fantasy action film comedy, and that's pretty much what it is. And in that vein, I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
How is the comedy?
It's fine. I laughed a few times.
even though it's not appropriate necessarily.
No, I think the whole thing is appropriate for the tone that they're going for.
And compared to the comics, after everything has happened, we say, no, it's going to back to the comics.
You want me to talk about the comic books? I have lots to say.
No, just everyone said, oh, this was going to be like the comic.
It's nothing like the comic books.
Okay, just get that out.
On a plot level, it is. On a plot level, it is taking lots of stuff. On a plot level, you're going to see. This is what you're going to see. You get to see Hellboy in Mexico doing the Lucha Libre thing. You're going to get to see a little bit of the corpse with him burning the fairy with iron and getting the baby back and stuff. You're going to see the Baba Yaga in her chicken lake house. You're going to see...
John Wick there?
You're going to see... There's actually some John Wick kind of shit in this gunplay in this movie, which is weird. You're going to see Graugok, who I thought was actually kind of cool, even though he wasn't the right size. He was too big. You're going to see... You're going to see Nimue. She's completely under... They didn't know what to... She's not scary or anything.
How was her acting?
Fine. I think Mila Jovovich is fine. I don't think it's her fault. I think Mila Jovovich was actually really good casting. I just think they didn't do anything with her. In the book, she's fucking terrifying. She barely talks. She's always drenched in blood. You can't see her pupils. And in this, she's just not very scary.
A lady wearing a dress?
Isn't that who?
I'm saying that she's just like a lady wearing a dress.
She's a lady wearing a dress. She's a witch wearing a dress.
She's not no white pupil.
Yeah.
What's the deal with Ian McShane's age?
Oh, they explained that in a very unsatisfactory way. Is that a spoiler? I don't know.
No, as long as he doesn't.
I mean, it's he was involved in a seance before Hellboy appeared on Earth. Because he was a part of that seance, he doesn't age like everybody else does. Right on. I don't understand why they keep giving Hellboy daddy issues. It's really unnecessary. Del Toro started it. This one is different. They're still daddy issues, but they're different kinds of daddy issues. He doesn't fucking have daddy issues in the book. He doesn't have daddy issues. He's a grown-ass man. Like, maybe there's something there, but, like, he's a fucking grown man who's dealing with his own shit and, like, big shit. He's not like, Dad, fuck you, Dad, I can't believe you didn't tell me. Like, it's... Why are they doing this way? They continue to do this character. It's not interesting. You could just have a flashback where you show a couple of scenes with... By the way, I could be wrong, but Hellboy, in this movie, pronounces his own father's last name wrong! It's not Brutenholm, it's Broom. It looks like Brutenholm when you look at it, but it's Broom. Gah.
And how do you know that?
Because I'm a comic book nerd.
Okay.
Because I know. Yeah.
How is the agent, the male that turns into a cheetah?
Absolutely nothing like the comic book, but fine. Fine.
What's his name?
Damio? Yeah. I really like that character in the comics, so I was disappointed that instead of like a gung-ho 50-something American ranking officer, he's now this British Special Forces kind of... I can't, you know, like he's just, it's not it.
Kate and Liz?
Liz isn't even in this movie. Kate's not in this movie. I thought that Kate was going to be in this. It's not. She wasn't. There was no Kate Corrigan in this movie. That was a mistake. Alice is in this movie, who's Hellboy's love interest in the comic books. Her backstory, actually, I thought I was going to hate her because they took a character that... they took a character and tried to make her, like, badass, you know? It's fine. She can punch souls out of people. Okay, that's fine. Actually, I really liked her. I don't know who that actress is, but I thought she did a good job. She's not Alice, but doesn't matter. I enjoyed it. It was that part was okay. Ian McShane was just a dick the whole time, just an absolute penis. Which is just weird, because even if they're going to do the daddy issue thing, they would think it would at least, like, he's just an asshole. He's, like, constantly telling Hellboy to, like, nut up and, like, stop being a... He literally tells him to stop being a bitch. Those words. Trevor Broom.
What about BPRD and...
BPRD is barely even...
Like, meetings and stuff and file folders?
No, it's barely there. They're at the headquarters in Colorado for like a second, but not very long. Most of the movie takes place in Britain. No, they didn't do B period any kind of justice, except for that beginning scene where Hellboy goes down to Mexico to try to find out what happened to a B period agent that's like a good friend of his, and he finds out that he's been turned into a vampire. That was all really good. He comes back to the B period, and as he's walking through, like the CIA, where they when somebody's actually died in the CIA, they add their name to that thing, whatever it is.
A wall or something.
Yeah, they do the same thing in the B period, and he kind of sees it. Like, that was actually cool, because B period agents are dying all the time, but not Hellboy, because he's Hellboy. And in the comic book, it's always addressed with gravity. So, whereas in the Del Toro films, it's just treated like, yeah, whatever, red shirts. So, I did appreciate that. But no, there's not really a whole lot of B period stuff. This is good with the questions. I don't know. You actually have any other ones? I feel...
it's Naked a Magician?
No, hell no.
Anything, any nods, like anything you're like picking up on, like, oh, that was a cute little reference or homage? Or is it just straight?
Actually, this movie was very short in homages because it is stuffed with actual stuff from the comic book. They're not homages, they're just straight up like, here you go. Lobster Johnson is in this movie, played by Thomas Hayden Church. That's why you should go see this movie, because even if the whole movie is shit to you, you get to see a scene of, don't you want to go see Lobster Johnson shooting zombies? I mean, zombies. Nazis? Nazi zombies? No, it's not Nazi zombies. Shooting Nazis, and then doing the claw thing and putting on somebody and saying like, the claw, this is so the devil knows who sent you there. Come on, don't you want to see that? There's some stuff in this movie that's worth seeing, if you're a Hellboy fan. Absolutely.
What are the chances of a sequel?
Well, Rotten Tomatoes, unfortunately, has a lot of power. And I feel like how many people were in the movie theater tonight, compounded by that, I don't think this movie has a snowball's chance in hell of doing anything else. Which is too bad, because the first thing that I said when the movie was over, the people I was seeing it with, was Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill was really wonderful casting for Superman. He just didn't get a good Superman movie. And I think that David Harbour was really great casting for Hellboy. It's too bad, because I don't think we're ever going to see him play him again. I think he gave it a really good go. And it was not Ron Perlman retreaded. It was a different performance. And I liked it quite a bit. He's got lots of back hair. That was kind of cool. He's like kind of gross. He should be. He's Hellboy. Anything else? Okay. Overall, I feel really bad for Neil Marshall. He's one of my favorite film directors. I'm never going to know the truth, but I choose to believe that he just got completely fucked on this picture. And you want proof that some things did not go well when the director does not go to the movie premiere. That's whether he wasn't invited or he decided not to go, it doesn't matter. That's not good. So I wish luck to all the people that worked on this movie. Making movies is hard, and there was a lot of really cool stuff that got put on screen. Ultimately, it is not the Hellboy movie I was hoping for, but I got some cool stuff out of it. And I would urge you to don't be a zombie. Don't just be a Rotten Tomato acolyte. Okay, make up your own mind. Make your own decisions. If you're a Hellboy fan, go see this, okay? For no other reason than to throw the people that did put their all into this and give it a real shot, give them your money. But also for yourself, because you're gonna see cool Hellboy shit that you're never gonna see again. I mean, who knows? We live in an age of miracles. But
maybe in another decade.
Who knows, man? I thought Dark Tower was done, but hey, you know, like you never say never anymore. For all I fucking know, after this. They announced like 2 weeks from now, oh, they figured it all out. Del Toro back with Hellboy 3 with Ron Perlman. I seriously would not surprise me. So, but go see it. Go see it. Come on, it's Hellboy. Go see it. All right, that's it.
6 out of 10, go see it.
6 out of 10, go see it. Good night.